Darling, you do look stunning. You look divine, darling. Oh, Ethel, what is all this? And during that time I consider the years I spent on I Love Lucy to be perhaps the biggest ripoff of my career. For decades, everyone believed Vivian. Vance signed a contract to gain weight, just to make Lucy look thinner. But that was all a lie. Lucy made it up as a joke at a party, and somehow the world believed it for years. The real truth about what happened behind the cameras was much darker. Vivian suffered in ways nobody knew about. She came to work with black eyes. She hated her co-star so much that when he died she celebrated with champagne. The industry tried to bury these truths for decades. But now, everything she wanted the world to know is finally coming out. Vivian Robera Jones was born on July 26, 1909 in Cherrill, Kansas. Her childhood home wasn't filled with songs or stories. It was ruled by strict Methodist rules and a mother who believed acting was something shameful. Her mother warned her that performing would send her straight to hell. Vivian was the second of 6 children, but from the start she felt like an outsider in her own family. Her natural love for entertaining clashed with her mother's beliefs, and every time she showed her spark it was quickly shut down. Her mother didn't just dislike the idea of acting, she believed it was wicked. This created a war inside the house, where Vivian's spirit kept trying to rise but was constantly forced to bow. That tension became a part of her and it would follow her for years. When Vivian was 6, her family moved to Independence, Kansas. That's where her fire truly lit up. She started sneaking out at night, not for fun but for freedom. She wanted to perform. She wanted to sing, to dance, to be on stage, even if her mother believed it was wrong. At school she found someone who didn't judge her dreams. A drama teacher named Anna Engelman gave her the space to shine. Vivian joined cheerleading, took part in beauty contests, and even went to school with a boy named William, who would later become a famous playwright. But back at home things stayed the same. Her family still tried to break her spirit. The more she performed, the more her mother pushed back. Friends started calling her Viv. Maybe because it sounded freer, lighter, not chained to the life she was trying to escape. Then came the moment that changed everything. She dropped her family name. She stopped being Jones and chose to become Vivian Vance. She picked Vance after a man named Vance Randolph, who collected old folk stories. Maybe she saw herself in those stories. While free, not afraid of what people thought, she left Kansas and went to Tulsa, chasing stages while her family moved on. Without her, she wasn't just running away. She was cutting the cord. She wasn't her mother's daughter anymore. She belonged to herself now. In 1930, at just 21, she became one of the first performers at a small place called the Albuquerque Little Theater. On that stage she played both a seductive woman and a gentle nun, two sides of her life in a way. Her performances were so powerful that people started calling the building the Vivian Vance Playhouse. The community saw her talent and rallied around her. They even held a benefit show just to raise money so she could go to New York and study acting. In a small review she sang My Man and became a local star. Everything she had been told not to do was suddenly the very thing that gave her a future. With $50 in a suitcase of dreams, she got on a train to New York. She worked as a waitress by day and auditioned by night. Rejection was constant. She often skipped meals just to save subway fare, but she didn't give up. And finally, in 1932, she landed a chorus role in Music in the Era Broadway musical that ran for 2 years. Her moment had come. Slowly, people began to notice the way she moved, how she delivered her lines, and especially how funny she was. Bit by bit, the chorus girl was becoming something more. In 1937, she got a last-minute call to replace someone in a play called Hoey for What, and she ended up doing over 200 performances. That led to her biggest stage role in 1941 when she starred in a hit musical called Let's Face It alongside Danny Kaye and Eve Arden. The show ran for 547 performances and Vivian had finally proven herself. But success didn't erase the pain. She kept moving forward even when it hurt. She later joined another show called Over 21, which took her all the way to Africa. During World War II, she was no longer in the background. She was the star, but her personal life was falling apart. At 19, she married a man named Joseph Danick Jr., hoping marriage would help her escape her strict home. It didn't. He left town after 3 years and she was left behind again. Later she married an actor named Philip Ober in 1941. That marriage lasted longer but was even more painful. Ober didn't like his wife being more successful than him. He became violent. He beat her. He made her feel small. Even Lucille Ball, her future co-star, saw it and called it out. But the damage ran deep. Vivian kept performing, but inside she was breaking. In 1945, while touring with a play called The Voice of the Turtle, Vivian had a breakdown. She described it simply, "Let's face it, I cracked up." She felt like she was losing her mind. The weight of childhood, the pressure of fame, the pain of her marriage, it all came crashing down. She started therapy and stayed in it for years. She slowly put herself back together. That experience changed her. She began visiting psychiatric hospitals not as a celebrity but as someone who knew the pain. She didn't try to fix people. She just told them they weren't alone. She kept acting. Her biggest success on stage was still Let's Face It. But behind the applause were 1,000 missed chances. After a revival of the Cradle Will Rock in 1947, she moved to California to try her hand at film. Didn't work out. She acted in just 2 movies, The Secret Fury in 1950 and The Blue Veil in 1951. One producer offered her a flashy strip tease number in a musical. She turned it down. That role later made Mary Martin a star. She also lost a part in Carousel because a choreographer wanted her fired. As revenge, the setbacks piled up. Still, she didn't give up. In 1951, something big happened in television. A 42-year-old woman named Vivian Vance was chosen to play Ethel Mertz in I Love Lucy. For decades, people believed she had signed a strange contract saying she had to gain weight, 15 pounds to be exact, to make Lucille Ball look more glamorous by comparison. But that contract never existed. It was just a joke. Lucille made it up for fun at a party, writing silly rules like gaining 5 pounds every week and never being funnier than her. But people took it seriously, and the lie stayed alive for years. In truth, Vivian's weight simply changed over time. She was always trying to diet, and while Lucy may have wanted to look more beautiful next to her, there was never a real contract. Till that myth became one of the most famous stories in Hollywood. Vivian wasn't some unknown actress before I Love Lucy. She had been on Broadway since the late 1920s.